Good morning.
I can't see you.
I have to figure out how to get rid of this picture now.
You stopped sharing your screen. Oh, wow. Look at all the fancy. Wait, put that fancy stuff back up on the screen.
What?
Put that fancy, schmancy stuff back up on the screen.
No, I'm going to figure out how to make our own custom one.
Oh, you're going to make our own custom one on the show?
Oh, my God. I didn't know you were coming back. I was in Michigan yesterday.
You were?
Yeah.
What were you in Michigan for? I didn't get a phone call.
I know, because I wasn't near Clarkston, Michigan, or
how do you know where I was? I wasn't even in Clarkston yesterday.
I know. I went to my sister and I and her kids and my mom went to South Haven and rented a boat. That was the video I sent you.
Oh yeah. That was fun. That looked fun.
No, the waters were super rough. We didn't stay out very long. It was a very expensive tubing ride.
Oh, I used to love, I still love tubing, but I used to go tubing, back in the day.
I feel like I was going to chip all my teeth if I did it. So I didn't do it. My nephew is really adventurous. He go-karts, like he does a lot of stuff, and he felt like he was going to break his collarbone. So I decided I probably shouldn't go out on it.
Yeah.
I liked mooring through the harbor.
You going through the harbor?
Yeah.
Oops, I'm fixing my light here. There you go. So how was your weekend, Caryn?
It was lovely. I got a lot, like last night. So I came home from Michigan. There was a lot of traffic. And then I came home and literally put away, I hate dirty clothes. So I do laundry almost every day. I have a weird OCD obsession about dirty laundry. And so my challenge can be sometimes putting it away.
Yes, that's my challenge too. You know what else is my challenge? Doing laundry. No, I'm just kidding. Doing laundry and wearing clean shirts.
Well, I know that is one of your major challenges. So I
already know that about me.
I do. I gotta turn one of these lights down because I really am light.
You look like you've been inside your house a lot.
I have been inside by the way, my knee, Nick. My knee.
Your knee, Nick?
My knee is still bruised. I cannot even touch it 1 week later.
For those of you who are watching, for the 3 or 4 of you that watch every day, Caryn bumped her knee about 30 seconds before we did our show last week, and it still hurts.
I am talking, I can't even touch it. Like I ended up driving my sister's car home and my kneecap touched the steering wheel ever so slightly and it hurt.
You should probably go to the doctor.
I'm wondering. I mean, it hurts worse today. Remember how I said the next day I played tennis, or 2 days, I played tennis?
Yeah.
Oh, so I heard it last Wednesday. It hurts worse today than it did last week.
Wait, you banged your knee against the table and your kneecap fell off and it's rattling around inside your skin. And then you went to play tennis.
Yeah, because I thought, well, it can move. It'll be fine. But it's actually worse today. All right. Move. But I did drive around my little car, my little fun new convertible too. That was
yeah. Ann's new old car's in the shop.
Why?
So the thing. This is how I talk about cars. Ready?
You are not handy at all, are you? Do you have any?
No, not at all. Listen,
do you know how to change out like a light fixture?
Yes. Can I just finish the story because I was in the middle?
I think it was a fair question.
Yeah. So Ann grew up in Michigan. Her father worked for General Motors for 35 years. She comes from like a car family. She knows how to work on cars, right? My parents were both like journalists and authors and went to the theater. So let's the two worlds are very different. But so whoa, that changed the whole picture.
I know, I'm learning.
Bigger now. I don't know. I don't like that one. I don't like this one.
Okay.
Go back because I like my background. I'm very proud of my background. So anyway, so what I was saying was the tire?
You mean the wheel?
Yeah, the wheel. And then underneath the car, there's a thing that connects.
That's the axle.
Oh, that's the thing. I think that fell off.
Okay, so
yeah. So her dad.
The axle is actually what controls the whole frame of the car. right?
No, that's not the axle. It's like a little thing. It's not as serious as that. It's like one rod. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, an axle rod.
It's not axle rod. It's whatever. The wheel can't turn on the back driver's side.
How did you discover this?
We were driving it.
And then just didn't drive?
And the hubcap flew off. And then it started making this weird sound, and we had to call her dad, and her dad came to see us, and he went under the car and took a look, and then we called the tow truck because her dad went under and saw what was wrong. And then we called the tow truck, and now it's in the shop. But listen, it's 1964, so you're gonna find it only has 46,000 miles on it. So anything that's wrong with it like that is probably just from not being driven a lot.
Oh, for sure. I feel like this car hadn't been driven in like 2 years, and I feel like the more I drive it, and the more I push it, the better it's getting. And some guy pulled up next to me, and he goes, "Oh my God, that's a cool car." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, it's an MG," and he goes, "Yeah, boy, she's got some age on her." And I'm thinking, well, that was the year I was born. So basically, the guy just told me, "You're old," is what he told me when he pulled up next to me and said it. But I feel like I'm really getting to know her, because it's a stick. And so we're feeling each other out right now.
Well, here's the funny thing. So our car is a Corvair. It's a 1964 Corvair. And if you're familiar with cars, Ralph Nader wrote a book called Unsafe at Any Speed. And he crushed the Corvair in that book.
That's why when you said you got a Corvair, I was like, is that safe? Because
but here's the funny thing is that he made all that crap up.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the car was fine for 10 years. The car was around from the 1960 to 1970. And he wrote this book, and he hated American car companies. And then, once he wrote about the Corvair, the sales tanked. But
you really can't trust anybody.
No, and so now, of course, the guy who comes to the tow truck guy, he comes, he's like, he's like, I should have known it was a Corvair. Something like
shut up. So
comments. And then someone's driving by, they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, that's a Corvair for you. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Every time I say an MG, they're like, oh, that's going to cost a fortune to keep in. I'm like, first of all, I got a really good deal on it. And second of all, what am I going to have to replace? The electrical was already replaced because it kind of caught fire with the last owner. And there were little things here and there, but my dad had an MG, and I'm going to keep it for as long as I'm driving it. And when I'm no longer wanting to drive it, then I'll sell it. It's not that hard.
Well, so this is one of the reasons why what the book says about the Corvair is that the engine, is in the back.
Right.
And so therefore it throws off the balance of the car, and it can make the car tip. And I'm like, gee, let's think of another car that's out right now where there's no engine at all.
Right.
And it's called a Tesla. And you know what I mean? You have two trunks, and the thing is as light as a feather, and everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And what other cars have engines in the back? I think some race cars, some sports cars have engines in the back. But it's just silly.
A minivan from 1986 had it right underneath the driver's seat. Do you remember? Okay, never mind. People don't know this, but I'm 100,000,000% car obsessed. And my first major was automotive engineering. So I am obsessed with cars. I love to learn about them. I love to remember them. And when I was a kid, my mom used to drive me down the road, and I would tell her every single car that was coming opposite. Maybe that was OCD, ADHD as a kid, I'm guessing. But I am obsessed with them. And so I love learning about them. So I'm also trying to decide what kind of car I'm going to get next for my regular everyday car, because my lease is up not too far away.
Yeah. I know what I'm getting.
What? Not a Chevy Volt that you have a Volt battery and you have gas.
The Volt was discontinued, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, the Volt was discontinued. We'll talk about that another show. So I'm not getting a Tesla.
No.
So, but General Motors won't be releasing new electric cars till 2025. But they do have one called the Bolt, B-O-L-T. It's a little smaller than the Volt, but it's 200 miles electric. I'm probably going to get that for a couple of years.
Did you name yourself Usain when you drive it?
What?
Usain Bolt, the runner, the sprinter.
Yeah, maybe that's why
You'd name him Usain. Like I haven't named my car yet. I think her name is Rita.
Oh yeah.
Do you name your cars? Do you give them a name?
And named the Corvair Betty.
Oh, that's perfect, actually.
Yes, she's so cute and red.
Let's bring our guest on because
let's do that.
Okay, listen. Here's why.
Because we told him to get up early and be on a show with us.
Good morning. No, because he has a lot to offer, and his wife is amazing. And I met them. Well, my husband was there too. Let's not forget him. But at the One Thing retreat, and I was like, oh my God, they're my favorite people. So
I met JP's wife when I was at the Austin Southwest Market Center.
You what?
I met JP's wife when I was visiting Austin,
Southwest.
Yeah, and I went over to hang out with Melanie, and then I didn't know it was his wife, and then Melanie was like, "This is JP's wife." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And we talked for a few minutes.
Okay, who are you, JP? Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me, guys. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, speak up a little bit.
You bet. I'll move my microphone a little closer too. Good morning.
JP Lewis, the vice president of KW Worldwide. He's the man that puts market centers in every country on the world.
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you guys. It's an honor and a privilege to work on that team. I get to work with the amazing Bill Soderoff, who might be the most famous person in real estate. If you guys have not met him, you're missing out. But I get to be his vice president, and we work with the most amazing team in Austin, taking Keller Williams around the world.
He's actually one of the funniest people
I've
ever heard speak.
The stories are endless. Honestly, one of my favorite people in the world, and I was really lucky to get the opportunity to join him in 2016.
What did you do before, JP, that then they're like, hey, just come be worldwide?
It's funny. Ellen Curtis is our vice president of operations. Nick gets to work with her a lot these days as they take Keller Williams forward with Gary and Josh and the team. And she and I sort of came up together in Keller Williams. I found KW in 2004. And I got the opportunity to help launch KW Connect and the media team along with partnering with Keller University and MAPS Coaching. And so by 2016, we had really built that out, and it sort of became part of the whole Keller Williams publishing and learning division. And so Ellen and I got to talking, and I told her how passionate I was about teaching and working with our leaders like yourselves out in the field. And she said, Worldwide needs somebody to do that because we're looking to take Keller Williams into 100 regions outside the US and Canada. And I'd never really awarded franchises before, but I got to do that starting in 2016. And we were at about 20 regions outside the US and Canada, and came in. And once one thing led to another, and Alan started working more closely with Gary and Josh, I got to be Bill's VP. So I really got to credit Ellen and the amazing leaders of this company for growing people from within it. And I'll tell you, I thought it was rewarding before getting to lead Connect and work with such a wonderful team in publishing and education, because we do so many good things out of Keller University and MAPS Coaching. But to get to share this with people who are outside of the United States and Canada, whose industries are still evolving and in some cases still getting more structured, and to deliver this kind of value to them, especially what's on the horizon for technology, it's been the biggest gift in the world. It's my favorite thing to do every morning.
That's so cool. So, JP, tell everyone how many countries we're in right now, because I didn't even know how many countries we were in, and it kind of blew my mind. And I think it's because I didn't know how many countries there actually were. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I can learn that too.
You're actually not kidding.
I was like, wow, we have more KWs in countries than we actually have countries.
Yeah. Well, with all the things in the world, even the number of countries that are in the world still changes a little bit, which was a surprise to me. So I got a geography lesson really fast. But no, in all seriousness, it does change quickly. We have an amazing person that's come in to help take over that part of the team after I got to work more closely with Bill. Her name is Lisette Montoto, and I have to give her massive credit this year. During COVID, during a lockdown, and as you guys know, if you watch anything on the news, some countries have really, really got locked down way earlier than the United States, and their lockdowns were very significant. And we have awarded 7 or 8 this year alone, and that takes us to 49 regions or countries outside of the United States and Canada, the most recent being Uruguay. So right before that, when we awarded Peru, that actually made Keller Williams officially in 50 countries all around the world, if you include the US and Canada. So it was a real honor to get to talk to Gary on the day that happened and shared that his company, his little office in Austin, started in 1983, is now in 50 countries around the world.
I got to know Lizette because of the last call I did last week. And she emailed me after, and then we'd been communicating. And when she told me the success that she's had, I was like, "Where did you come from out of the blue?" And then she gave me her background, and I thought, "How cool!" And she said, "You really struck a chord with me because you said on that call that Keller Williams changed your life." And she said, "I could see why. Like, she is so excited." So you guys I asked her what her background was because I was curious, like, how do you find more like her? And I think that. Not profit share, but we call it
growth share. Yeah.
Growth share. Because the economics are done a little differently with Keller Williams worldwide offices because everybody has a different economy. And so I think that is the single biggest opportunity that people are missing the boat on. And so when as an office, we always have had our languages that our agents speak, all the different languages.
Yeah.
And let's build their profit through them because we've seen people that have entire countries or worldwide regions underneath them and growth share opportunities. And I think that's the single biggest wealth building opportunity for anybody.
Yeah, I actually really, really agree. It's such a wonderful complement to profit share because it's this new exciting thing, and profit share is this like forever exciting thing. And so you have both opportunities, and no matter where you are in the world, you have the opportunity to earn profit share or growth share. People get it confused because for obvious reasons, it feels different. In Keller Williams, we're actually all one tree. And so what's really great is it doesn't matter where I am, it just matters where I refer talented people. So if I refer talented people to the US and Canada, those market centers are going to share profits with me. If I refer talented people outside of the US and Canada, those regions are going to share part of the franchise fees with me. It's that simple. Now, growth share does pay out a little bit differently in terms of every quarter instead of that awesome 21st of every month that we know and love. But it is an untapped, sort of the best secret in Keller Williams, if you will. So we're looking to change that. And so everyone in Keller Williams should be referring in regional candidates to Lisette, and that's why I put our website on the screen. That's the best place to go for any referrals. But send in talent to run these regions, talent to open market centers, talent to be team leaders, talent, of course, to list and sell property in every region that we're in. So it doesn't matter where you know somebody. If you know anyone, you should be visiting kbworldwide.com and referring them into Lisette and the team, and we can help guide them forward. Similar to the way Nick has done for years when he's in the team leader role, bringing in talent on behalf of his agents and his ALC.
Hey, what about
me? You are rocking it out like you're a legend in the team leader game.
I mean, apparently there's a romance happening between you two that I'm not a part of, and that's fine because I know longer, but that's cool. Take it over.
This means I want to say something. Remember who taught me to do this?
Me.
Wendy Papasan. She's like, when we're doing our show, we put our finger up. But see, when you're doing a podcast, you can't see it. On a webinar, it's weird.
I'm just trying to coax him back to the team leader role, Caryn.
JP knows my love language. That's why he's complimented me twice in about 9 minutes.
You've got a lot of acknowledgement today, Nick. Do you feel valid? Do you feel valid as a human?
I will acknowledge Caryn. Caryn has been on our, speaking of our regions, we do regional leadership training. Of course, in COVID, we're doing all of that virtually now. And it's opened up a whole new opportunity for us because we can do virtual training for our people instead of them just flying to the United States. And Caryn has been so amazing at giving her time. It's probably the highlight of the entire week, both in May and the one we had last week in August. And no joke, it is absolutely so powerful to hear from a team leader that's accomplished as she is, not to mention the other roles she's got.
Do you feel better now?
You have to say thank you.
No, I mean, JP, thanks.
Multiple offerings of your time. I know how busy it is.
Malaysia, those guys are like the most fun.
Oh, they're awesome. And Malaysia is such a blast. I got to go there last year to do a regional leadership week for all of our Asian regions. And those wonderful leaders actually got all of the Asian regions together for the very first time ever in Kuala Lumpur. And if you ever have a chance to visit, please do. That whole part of the world is so amazing. And their team is so kind and gracious.
Yeah.
Hey, JP, I have a question. So two questions, actually. How quickly does the company grow? Like what are your goals for the year to add to put market centers? in different countries? And second question to that is, based on that goal, has it slowed down this year because of COVID? Like, have you had to have a different conversation with leaders in other countries about what it would be like to open a market center?
You know, it's one of the most amazing things. It's one of the biggest gifts of being Keller Williams, to see how different we all are, but how similar we all are as human beings. Because the issues that are showing up in real estate in this industry in other countries are the exact ones that show up in the United States. Yes, it's different. Yes, there's different currency, of course, different languages, different culture, and yet we solve all the same human issues. So funny enough, when something like a pandemic hits, which has hit all of us, I mean, what else can you say besides we're all one family on the planet Earth in this moment in time? So everyone's feeling it, everyone's going through it, everyone's protecting their families, and yet in our businesses, everything rises and falls on leadership. And so when we're talking to the right leaders in the right roles, they're having some of their best years ever. Now, we'll tell you, April and May were devastating, right? You've got entire countries like Italy and Spain and Southern Africa that are shut down. But when they opened up strong, especially with their acceptance of wearing masks culturally in their countries and all of those things, they have really taken off. So to answer your question very pointedly, we award about 50 to 60 market centers a year. We've already awarded 36 and we're just over halfway through. So we're on track exactly what we've always done. Lisette, to her credit, opened seven countries during a lockdown. So to have these people take on a huge responsibility and a huge investment to launch Keller Williams as a country during a pandemic, not knowing what the end in sight looks like, that's pretty amazing and a huge testament to Lisette and those leaders. And so we award about 7 or 8 countries a year. So Lisette's already blown through that goal. And we probably will see 2 or 3 more, especially thanks to Mega Camp coming up. We'll have a lot of international guests there. The key is always bringing in those productive agents to help Keller Williams flourish. And so that's what we're really focused on, is that we're going to hit 100 countries outside the U.S. and Canada within the next 5 or 6 years, probably. We will hit 500 market centers, which is also part of our vision. The key is 100,000 agents outside of the U.S. and Canada. And if you add that to the 180,000 around the world, when you include the U.S., you're talking about Keller Williams being truly reaching our vision, which is the company of choice for all agents and their customers. So that's where we have to focus. And if we take advantage of these virtual opportunities to start getting in conversation with productive agents, our regions will be right there. We're at about 11,000 agents now, and we really want to accelerate that now using tools like this and Zoom and others.
That's so cool. And yesterday, I'm going to keep going, Caryn, because Jason Abrams was like, Caryn, is that you or is that a picture of you? And I don't know. It looked like you're sitting very, very still. With just a couple things. Jason says, huge ups to JP, changing the world with your help. Literally, Andrew Bloom is on. We booked Andrew Bloom for September. Top. Andrew Bloom is number 6 in the company. Huge. Andrew Bloom. He says, let's tell the story. Number 1 in every category. So got a lot of people excited. JP, yesterday, I emailed Gary and Josh, and then they looped you into the conversation.
Are you name dropping right now, Nick?
I wanted to know how many countries Command was operational in, and I didn't know that it was operational in basically every country. It's just the some of the different applets don't work.
You can just ask me. That's okay. You can bother Josh and Gary on a Sunday, but it's cool.
So anyway, moving on. Moving on, Caryn. So JP, I didn't know that Command actually does work in pretty much every country. There's just certain aspects about it that it doesn't work in. Can you just kind of talk about the differences and how, because I don't think a lot of people understand, like, we have to translate it into all these different languages and it has to work in certain ways because they do business differently. So how does Command work in everywhere else aside for here? You know?
Well, I'll tell you, as you guys know, this has been a technology journey for Gary for years. I mean, even in the early days, Gary's always been had amazing foresight. I mean, I remember when we launched KDB Connect in 2004, that was before YouTube was launched. So we were streaming video. I mean, that was all of Gary's vision, right? And here we are again in 2020, and we're launching this platform, which is a massive undertaking. So where we are now is that the Keller Williams Worldwide team are collaborating with Josh and his team on internationalizing each of the applets throughout Command. So yes, Command is absolutely available to all of our 49 regions. The journey that we're on now is actually going into each of those applets and internationalizing it, meaning respecting their currency, their native language, and some other customizations. So right now we have huge adoption. We have thousands of our top and biggest regions, thousands of their associates using things like contacts, designs, tasks, smart plans, referrals. Referrals was one of the first we launched. One of the things that our US and Canadian associates don't see is a system we have behind it called Front Door. And that's how we run our regions and our market centers and how they do reporting and they track on helping our agents grow their business. Well, all of that was actually built on the Keller Cloud back in 2016. And so just this last year, we brought that into Command. So that's what brought all of our 11,000, 12,000 associates into Command was that system. And now they actually are going to unlock each of these agent tools throughout 2020 and going into 2021. So right now we're in the process of sucking in international listings from their local portals or CRMs so that listings both internationally and in the US and Canada can all be in one listings applet. Whoa. Hopefully at some point, I don't have dates, but hopefully displayed in our consumer products, including our consumer apps. So our clients, our agents' clients can see that they're part of the #1 real estate company in the world visually, like with the listings all over the map. And so the really exciting announcement is that at Mega Camp, campaigns will be one of the first applets internationalized. And this means things like the dropdown that we use for Facebook campaign ads is going to include all of the countries that Facebook advertises or targets.
Oh, man.
Nick is going to get so excited. That's what we
Hold on, I need to stop for 1 second. So we'll be able to advertise our listings, and this is going to be huge for luxury agents.
Very huge for luxury agents.
Right, like advertising their multi-million-dollar properties in foreign countries through Facebook ads. And then what would be, it'd be amazing if we share our app and our website with our clients. Be like, hey, you want to look at homes in Dubai? You can do that on our.
Well, then I could do my home. If people from Dubai are moving to Chicago, then I could go to Dubai and do a Facebook campaigns in Dubai.
Exactly. Like Caryn mentioned, all of her agents who speak different languages. Well, if there's family connections or personal or professional connections in these countries and they want to run campaign ads because they have specialized knowledge in that area, you can do that now with Facebook. Because obviously Facebook is targeting there. But Command is now opening that up for not only our associates, but that's going to be a plus for all the US and Canada associates.
And I was thinking too, Liz, that's going to come on one of our Market Center's morning power-ups. And I just wanted to make a commercial. Like I wanted to talk about personal stuff, JP. I mean, not too personal, but any markets that have big international travel in and out, like New York, Houston, LA, Austin, large metropolitan areas, have Lisette on your morning power up or in a meeting to share the opportunity, because no one can tell it better, than someone from KW Worldwide. And I think it's a great opportunity for people to think bigger. That's our, and that is after all our jobs. So
yeah, I'll post our website in the chat as well, but it's very easy. It's kwworldwide.com. Anything you submit into that website as a referral or an inquiry goes straight to us, and Lisette will be happy to join you on any of your conversations. I think she's going to be interviewed on Wealth Building Wednesdays coming up pretty soon. This gross share opportunity is huge. We're already on track to exceed what we did last year in gross share payouts. Last year we paid out $2.2 million. We're on track to exceed that in 2020 during a pandemic, believe it or not. And all told, since Keller Williams Worldwide's launched in 2012, I think we've paid out over $6 million, close to $7 million. It'll probably be $8 million by the end of the year. So I think Caryn said it first. This is the beginning. This is just an untapped opportunity, and it's really huge because you have the opportunity to refer in regional owners, market center owners, team leaders, and of course agents, which is really what we know we should be focused on, is helping agents find a home in this wonderful family that we've been all privileged to be a part of.
So now tell us about your wife, and that she was an agent on a team, and then now she's a team leader at Austin, the number one market center in the system, with Melanie and Diane. And then you have, so tell us about what you do for fun, because
you go another hour and a half just to talk about my wife. I'm probably the luckiest guy in real estate.
I mean, next to my husband, I would agree.
Yeah, she actually, I just, how many blessings can you count on one hand in Keller Williams? I mean, I got to be mentored with Jay Papazan and of course Jen and was very famously on Wendy Papazian's amazing team, and then got the opportunity to be a team leader in the Southwest Market Center. And so now, as you guys know, Gary's very heavily involved in really taking that business forward. And so Diane and Wendy Harrelson and Jen and that team are doing some amazing things with the PC program, as well as luxury and shared services and all sorts of really cool things to really dominate and continue to dominate, as it always has here in the Austin area. But yeah, she actually was at IBM for many, many years. And in 2013, as you can imagine, in a big company like that, always worried about the fear of layoffs and things. I just had a conversation with her one day and I said, you know what? I hear you on the phone and project managing people all around the world. You really know how to keep a project and a deal together. I know it's technology, but you really sound like a real estate agent. And of course, she had no desire, no knowledge, and no plans to get into real estate. But one of those days, when it just, enough was enough in the corporate environment of IBM, she said, I'll go have a conversation with Wendy Papazian. And the rest is history. They really Wendy built an amazing business. Jen was a big part of that, and we were really honored to be a part of it. And now she's building the Southwest Market Center with amazing leaders like Wendy and Diane. So we're just really blessed, and I'm blessed to watch Jen really thrive in this organization.
What do you do for fun?
Well, we were traveling. That was our thing. We were going everywhere. Again, another lesson from Jay and Gary that I internalized and Jen really adopted was to never miss a spring break with our kids, to always take them somewhere big and make it an event. So we've been to Costa Rica, Belize, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, anywhere we could go. Jen likes beaches, but we try to go anywhere we can. So 2020 has been tough. It's been a real tearjerker to have to see so many things on our calendar actually erased. But we'll replace them. We'll find another time to do it. And so we're trying to have some fun with it and get creative, enjoy the Texas Hill Country, get out to the creeks and rivers and different places where we can actually enjoy sometimes this wonderful state that we take for granted. But yeah, we love traveling. We love the movies. We love a lot of the same things. And I laugh with Gary because I talk to him about the businesses he owns here in Austin, and a lot of them are music venues and movie theaters and all the fun things we like to do. So 2020 has been a cancel year for us, but that's okay. It's actually allowed us to really focus on what matters, get clear on what Jen wanted to do at the Southwest Market Center, what I'm doing for Worldwide, and really double down on pouring into the people that are counting on us in this company.
And at the same time, there's something, because I was traveling a lot, but not internationally, but I was traveling a lot to speak at market centers and things like that. And now I'm like, oh man, just like being home and not having to get on a plane, and hanging out with my kids and my wife. Like sometimes that's actually really comforting, like
it's been very surprising for me too. I did not expect to like working from home as much as I do. And our team was lucky. We were already doing Zoom for the last year or two at least, because of our international focus, right? So I'm always on Zoom calls. Lisette, that's her whole bread and butter, is talking to people on Zoom. So when our associates refer us talent, we jump on a Zoom call with them and we start the career visioning process to get to know them, because we're not like the other franchise. We're not just selling companies or selling the brand. We're actually awarding models and systems in a territory. So it's a long career visioning process.
Yeah.
I did not expect to love doing it from home as much as I do, and getting to see my kids. And homeschooling and remote learning isn't ideal, we know, but man, I love it. I have a teacher's heart. So I love getting to teach Worldwide folks and turn around and help my children learn. I kind of hope this hybrid does stay because I think it does potentially create a more robust life for all of us rather than just sitting in an office.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be around for a little while, at least another year, 18 months before people start.
No matter what I hope for, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I do know that like I have friends in large worldwide corporations, and I bet JP, you guys have such a great ticker on this. Is they just got to stay home till July 2021.
Who did?
I can't say what company it is, but one of the largest financial companies in the world.
Yeah. There's countries out there that are still doing curfews where men can only go out of the house on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and women go out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and all sorts of really unique ways that governments have tried to protect their people. And I think there's lessons in all of that for us. It's go out, wash your hands, wear a mask. and social distance. It's really simple. And I'm watching the rest of the world do it very, very well.
It was really strange. I did a call with South Africa right when we had our state shelter in place in early March. I did a Zoom with them, and I thought, this is crazy that we're teaching South Africa about what to do in a pandemic, that we got it first and had to shut down first. And it was also cool because we all got to learn from each other as a worldwide organization of who's doing what to protect their market centers, their agents, things like that. Like, how cool was that?
This world is so much smaller than I ever thought it was. And I learned that really fast in 2016, and it's only been reinforced every year that I've seen KW Worldwide grow. One, I mean, how can you sit there and think, well, we're teaching so many American models and US business systems. In reality, we're not. We're teaching human systems. This is a people development company. And it really doesn't matter how we list and sell real estate. In the end, Keller Williams is about helping those agents build their business through market centers that are building their business and regions that are doing the same. And it's the same issues everywhere. And Bill Soderoff taught me that very early. So did Ellen. This is a human thing. And this world is so much smaller than we give it credit for. And if there's one blessing in COVID, it's the fact that the rest of the world or all of us are now better equipped to actually use this kind of technology to create that human connection. Beyond just posts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that, now we're actually getting to these human connections where, human communication is so much more robust than just emails and texts and posts. We're getting to see body language, see tonality, get used to other accents around the world. I mean, I can walk down the street and have a WhatsApp call with the OP of Japan, and it's just like I'm calling a buddy down the street. It continues to floor me that is the world I get to live in.
That's so cool.
Age in 2020.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, what's the plans for worldwide at the end of the year? Like, what countries are you planning on popping market centers up in?
I'll tell you, there's been a real momentum in South America. You see that in Peru, Uruguay. Our leaders in Argentina are just totally changing the game. They exploded in their last 2 years of growth. And I think we'll see that again. I'm betting we see Ecuador come forward, maybe Bolivia. When you see momentum in these regions around there, because there's so many cultural connections, and they are all different countries, but they hear what's going on, you start to see that continue. And then out in Eastern Europe, I think we'll see a few come in from there because of the success of our France teams in the West spreading all the way across there. People are starting to hear that story, and we have leaders in Italy now and a new leader in Poland. So you're going to see some in Eastern Europe, I think. And our leaders in Turkey are a big contributor to that. They're doing amazing this year. Again, Gary teaches us this, right? As agents, as market center leaders, and as regional leaders, in crises like this, it's the time to really relaunch your business, to not just survive, but thrive. And that means doubling down on the leadership we're in relationship with, going back to our data bank, as Jason teaches us, and actually pouring into our people, letting them know, doing those care calls at all levels. And our leaders are doing that, and they're taking market share massively because they're focused on it.
Agents just wrote, she's actually in my office, Christina Cash. She said she watches international agents' Facebook listing videos. They're on TikTok too, by the way. And she said, it makes me feel like I'm virtually vacationing. I asked if I can share their listings too. Like, how cool is that? Because that's what they're saying, like, go travel virtually if you can't travel. And I said, our time as agents, it doesn't matter if you're in the United States or outside the US, is to get people to dream and think bigger and imagine a life. And you can do that through real estate and international travel. And so what a great idea. What a great idea. And how nice.
Every KW associate should go into referrals, the referrals applet in Command, and go to the map section. This is going to continue to evolve, but right now you have a really great visual that might help you. Even if you just snipped a picture of it and put it in your listing presentation, if you go into the map on the referrals applet, you can actually change that to market centers instead of production, the little drop down. And that map will then show you where all the market centers around the world are located. So you can just move that Google map over to Europe or South America or Asia. And that's a really cool perspective on, like, oh, okay, we actually are established here. And as our internationalization happens throughout Command, you're going to see those agents' production records start showing up, and you can build community that way. But yeah, there's really nothing stopping you from referring business right now. And at the very least, seeing where those market centers are and starting to reach out and create your groups inside Command.
And design-wise, they're some of the coolest I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah. The stuff we'll learn by bringing this family together. I mean, think about luxury alone is a huge game changer opportunity because we have leaders in France, Portugal, Spain, Mexico that are in these high-end, very beautiful resort and tourist locations, as well as just, the inner city like Mexico City and Monterrey. I mean, it's just unbelievable what will happen when we connect those agents with each other.
Okay. JP, will you come back and join us?
Yeah, I just want to say,
it's truly an honor to be with both of you guys. I love what you're doing. You're such icons and leaders of this company. Thank you for putting your voice out there. It really makes us shine.
You're awesome. You and tell Jen.
Wait, I'm looking at my growth share statement.
I love her too.
Hold on, I'm looking at my growth share statement because I have growth share from Turkey.
You do?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. I learn something every day.
I'm just looking. So profit share and growth share in the KW intranet. And then what do I click on? I don't click on profit share after that.
There's a growth share statement in there.
Oh, growth share statement. Okay, let's see. I've been having issues with reports not populating. So let's see if this one works. Because if it does, I'm curious to.
Yeah, growth share statements come out every quarter. So you should see January, February, and March.
Oh, here we go.
Have this quarter out pretty soon.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Come on. All right, let me see if I can read this. I might have to send you this.
I have to give credit to Gary and Mo Anderson and the leaders of this company who, when they went and decided to go outside the US and Canada in 2012, they could have easily said, you know what, we're not going to do profit share, growth share. It's too hard. It's too difficult. They actually worked so hard to come up with a model that could scale like growth share. Because as you know, I mean, we don't have accounting systems that can go into every country and every currency, but to take a portion of the company royalty, the franchise fees, and actually give it back to people and find a way to do that. And trust me, growth share is difficult. They do it every quarter, and it's a huge lift for our KWRI team and our worldwide regions.
Okay, so if I'm reading this right, this is for January. I don't think I have the next one yet, or maybe I don't know. I'm not sure.
You know what? We'll just sit here while you go through your computer. It's cool.
No, I'm telling you. So growth share net amount.
Okay. So
wait a minute. Oh, I'm trying to figure out. I think it was around.
Yeah, you should do that.
But wait a minute. Hold on a second. See, JP, Caryn is being extremely insulting right now. This is very, very important for agents to know that you can make money around the world.
Well, that's what I said in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to tell everyone what my growth share amount is. You're like, well, you do that, and we'll do this. Okay.
It's a huge untapped opportunity. It is different. You're going to have exchange rates. It's not always. It's not.
I can't. It's hard to figure out. I think it was $269. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll send it to you and you can tell me how to read it. I have no idea.
You got it.
We're proud that you have a friend in Turkey. All right, JP.
No, it's not my friend. Here's the cool thing about it. It was an agent in New Jersey who is in my downline who has a connection to someone in Turkey. And this is all how I don't even know the person in Turkey.
Wait, so I have a question. JP, this brings up a very good question, actually, Nick. So let's say I have someone in my profit share tree, my sister. And she goes and someone in France, she's a big influencer in France, and that growth share goes under my profit share tree?
Yeah, we're all one tree. So if someone you sponsored is referring people in outside the United States, that growth share continues up. Same 7 levels, same distribution. It's one tree.
So the
difference is where you referred the talent?
What if I took people in my profit share tree on a business trip to one of these emerging countries and we spread out 10 of us, like a team, and then go?
There you go. I think
for the record, this growth share statement is 10 pages long. This is a little hard to do.
You got to find the person. Yeah.
It's a little hard to understand, Caryn.
All right, I'm going to play some music and we're out. JP, thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's an honor. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks, JP.
You guys have a good one.
That's out.
I got this feeling
JP.
my bones.
That's all I got.
It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
I do like Justin Timberlake.
Off from my home. Climbing up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket. Got that good soul in my feet.
All right.
I'm out.
Okay.
It
Take
drops.
care.
Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it. Moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it. So don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting